Hello, this is the Harboring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. As I do in the beginning of each episode of my podcast, I mention social media and audio platforms. To add on to this, I'm on Substack. I run on Substack as a supplement for my podcast. So, you can reach out to me on Substack through email, and social. And I will have all those links in this episode. And I appreciate all you listeners out there. So give me a rating. It'd be greatly appreciated. And feedback is appreciated too. So reach out to me through email, social media, and Substack. So audio platforms, I'm on Audible, I'm on Amazon Music, I'm on iHeartRadio, I'm on Spotify for podcasters, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Overcast. I'm looking to grow to where you enjoy your podcast. I'm on that. So this episode is about another idiom, an apple of my eye. So I'm gonna run it through again, like a fact, and how did you know this, and just get into the depths of it that way. So let's get into it. Alright, so the phrase comes from a Hebrew expression that literally means little man of the eye. It refers to the tiny reflection of yourself that you can see in other people's pupils. To be the apple of someone's eye clearly means that you are being focused on and watched closely by that person. Your very image is in the eye, central of the eyes of that person. This biblical meaning of the apple of your eye comes to us from independently of Shakespeare's use of the term. There are two completely different uses of the phrase. The phrase can be found in several Old Testament books of the King James Version Bible. So, Deuteronomy 32:10, as it states, "Keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wing." Psalms 17:8. This one, when the psalmist David asked God to keep him as the apple of his eye, he's asking God to keep an eye on him and not lose sight of him. David was asking God to reward him as one who would cherish a child, the object of great affection. Keep my commandments and live in my law as the apple of thine eye. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. Their heart cried unto the Lord, O wall of the daughter of Zion. Let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thine no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Lamentations chapter 2, verse 18. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. Now, Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. The idiom is very much alive in our everyday speech today and widely used among English-speaking countries and instantly understood by everyone. All right, so next we're going to move on to Shakespeare, the interpretation of the use apple of his eye. All right, so Shakespeare used the term the apple of his eye not in an idiomatic sense as in the Old Testament. Shakespeare used the phrase only once in a Midsummer's Night Dream. The fairy king Oberyn instructs his servant, the fairy Puck, to drop a love potion in Demetrius' eye, as it states. And of course, the source that I'm reading from will be included in this episode. So, flower of his purple dye, hit with Cupid's archery, sink in apple of his eye. So, Shakespeare is using apple of his eye quite literally here. The original meaning of the eye's apple was purely anatomical. It derives from the fact that there was no scientific word to describe the pupil of the eye, according to the source that I'm reading from. In Shakespeare's time, they referred to the pupil as the apple of the eye, as it was round and solid and resembled an apple. The term pupil, as we use it today, came much later. Shakespeare uses it in that earlier sense as the pupil, that is, of the eye. Oberyn tells Puck to squeeze the potion in the pupil of the eye. So the term apple of the eye has Shakespeare, as Shakespeare used it, does not have an idiomatic or figurative meaning. It's quite literal. And to go on, if you're interested in to go further on about this, it links different sources about the details where you can find these sort of things, and the Midsummer's Night's Dream, and the research and the resources for it is included in that link. And this is definitely something to think about when you think about the idiom apple of one's eye. All right, so this reaches the end of the Hovering Light. Any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Email is great. I would prefer that, but all the other sources is greatly available to you, social media and Substack. All right, tune in, turn up, and definitely take care. Bye-bye now.